Good morning, everyone. Happy holidays to all of you. Welcome to another episode of the Dunn Wisdom Morning Show. I dare say that this is actually our last episode of 2023 as we move full steam ahead into season number 3. I am your host, Melissa P. Dunn, CEO of MD Marketing Network and and founder of this Dunn Wisdom movement. I take great pleasure in introducing you to people and concepts that help you to live your best life, both in life and in business. And part of that means introducing you to women who are getting it done. And today's guest, I think, is an exemplification of that. She is a city manager of the city of Lauderhill, and she is also an entrepreneur and a wife and a mother. So, ladies and gentlemen, help me to welcome to our show today our guest, Miss Desorae Giles-Smith. Hey, Des, how are you?
Hi, how are you, Commissioner? It's so nice to be with you this morning.
Oh, my pleasure. And welcome to the Dunn Wisdom Morning Show.
Thank you.
So, Des, thank you for agreeing to give up your Christmas holiday to come in and have the conversation. This is really a space where we get to talk about things that may be of interest to women as they look to move forward in life. And so before we get started, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm Desorae Giles-Smith. I'm from Broward County. I attended Broward County schools, and I graduated from the University of Florida, and I also have a master's degree from FAU. I started with the city of Lauderhill 30 plus years ago. Pretty much straight out of college. I was hired by then Mayor Eileen Lieberman and her assistant to the mayor, Bob Lee. And they both took me in and trained me, and I was an administrative aide in the office.
Wait, you started as an aide?
Yes, I started as an aide.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. So you're actually an example. And just for those of you who don't know, an aide in the private sector would be the equivalent of an assistant, right?
Yeah, probably a little bit below the assistant. We had a strong mayor form of government. So the mayor served as the political head of the city and also the city manager. So she wore both titles. I worked for her in her role as the leader of the city. So she took me in as an aide, kind of like a commission aide, like you today. So you kind of do a number of different things.
See, that is so powerful. And I'm pausing there for a minute because I'm thinking about a lot of young women who are graduating from college that may be feeling a little discouraged that they're starting at the bottom as an assistant. And in your case, you basically started in that role, and then now you're running the city.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Fantastic. So Eileen hired you as her aide.
Mm-hmm. And I worked for her for many years. She was a tough boss, but she just helped me grow a lot. She helped put things in perspective. She would give me tasks that I had absolutely no clue how to do. And she was like, just figure it out. So it was trial by fire. So I learned not to be afraid of new assignments or new tasks. Just kind of research, talk to other departments, talk to other cities, see how they're doing things, and then start on your projects, so start on your programs. So it was a really great opportunity. It wasn't like anything that I thought I would be doing, because when I graduated, I had a degree in journalism, but I knew immediately that was not anything I really wanted to do.
Okay.
So when I came here, when I came back home, I kind of had a couple of positions that had hired me. And this one had not actually hired me. They had hired somebody else, but that person declined the job. So they came back to me. And so it was like the one job I really wanted. It was the lowest paying job.
Wow.
But I thought that in this job, there would be a lot of opportunity to grow and to do things that could serve your community and kind of keep you, public service to me is one
Mhm.
of the highest callings. I think when
Yes.
people do this, you can't just do it to me for, oh, I'm just going to do it for a paycheck. It's like you have to do it because you love it. Because if you
Mhm.
don't love it, it can be daunting. It can be an experience where, you know, it's one of those experiences where you're either
It's a thankless job.
happy or
Yeah,
you're
exactly. They're either happy that their garbage got picked up or not happy that their garbage got picked up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get it. I get it. But I'm so intrigued by the thought that even at such a young age, you already had a sense of at least you may not know the exact direction, but you at least had a sense of purpose enough to say, well, you know what, let me go into public service. I'm going to start from the bottom. And it's not the most well paid of my choices, but that's the direction that I'm going to go.
right. And I got active in our professional associations. So that helped me to see the opportunities and just working with the people that I worked with, like Mayor Lieberman, Bob Lee, a number of the department directors and staff that was with the city. It just made me love what I was doing, and and some people I know now people move a little bit more because they want different opportunities or different points of view or different challenges. But I must say, working here, whenever I got to the point where I was like, I want to do something a little different than what I've been doing. I think I've pretty much mastered this. There was always like, well, Des, we want you to do this now. And it was like, oh,
Mm.
okay, great. So I don't need to go anywhere. They always provided new challenges and new opportunities right here in the city of Lauderhill. So I anybody considering public service, understand that it's evolving, it changes. There's no day that's the same. So
Mhm.
it is if it's something you would like to do, if you'd like to serve your community, this is an excellent opportunity for young people out there.
Yeah, I agree. And I guess if you're on, I want you to say hello. And hey, Miss Barbara Herman, look who's watching. She's like, good morning to two of my favorite people.
Oh, hey,
Good morning, Barbara. Thank you for tuning in. So now you start working with the city. What's the one leadership lesson you think you learned from Eileen?
to be thorough, read your materials. She was very, very smart. When she was at the city, she also went to law school part time. So she got her law degree
I
and
did
she
not know that.
graduated top of her class. And that's when she actually became a lawyer while she was here. And she was just so dedicated. She would be here late at night, early in the morning. She was such a hard worker, and she would tell you what you needed to hear. Um,
Mm,
and always she let me know that I could do anything if I just put my mind to it and if I just hunkered down and just did it. And so to me, a lot of the things that I do and accomplish are because she kind of instilled in me um, the, the idea that I could do anything if I
yeah.
just put my mind to it. So,
And
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 my
it's
parents too also instilled in me. They were just can do people. So.
mhm. And it sounded like she was kind of helping you to get into the habit of execution because I'm finding that not everybody knows how to execute.
Right. Yeah, they're important skills, and I think too having confidence in yourself and being
Hmm.
able to learn and grow. And that was another thing she really really pushed was constant learning. Constant learning. Make sure you go to your conferences that you're supposed to go to, which I'm a little guilty of now. I'm gonna start though. I said this year I am gonna go to a conference. Um, Constant learning. She when I was here, she was like, I was like, I think I want to get my master's degree. She said, you should do it. And I got my
Wow.
master's degree while I was with the city. And I've taken that same uh, spirit and tried to implement it here with us now. Because I
Mhm.
try to get at least every director to go to a conference. You just learn so much at your conferences are specific to your whatever your genre is of whether you're the utilities director or the HR director. It's just so much information you gather and so many relationships that you can build that help you in the future. So those were a couple of the things she instilled in me.
Oh, I love that. So you started out as an aide. What other positions have you held as you worked your way to the top?
I was administrative manager. I was like so many different things. And then I became a department director. I was human resources director, and that
Oh,
was
I did not know that.
yes, I was the human resources director before I became the ACM. So
Wow.
I was human resources director for about 10 or 15 years. And that was just human resources is such a diverse is such a great career path for anybody interested in. You just learn so much. You learn
Hmm.
about people, you learn about the city, you learn about how things work regarding employees. Because to me, when you think about any organization, it's people, it's processes, and it's whatever your product is.
Hmm.
And so, learning the important role of how to make people successful, I think is very important for anybody who plans to be a leader of any organization because that's the key to your organization. You're only as successful as the people around you.
Oh, that's fantastic. And do you have any tips for how someone could go about supporting their people so that they're successful?
I think you have to listen. I meet with most of my directors at least once a week just so I can hear what's going on. Are there any things that they need? Are we facing any major challenges at this time? Are we on track for our plans that we have for the year? Is there anything obstructing them? Just trying to make sure they have all the resources that they need, listening to any of the human resources issues that they have and how we can address those. Because sometimes, one or two issues in human resources can redirect a lot of energy that you had to put towards getting toward your goals for that year. Instead, you're finding your time is being consumed by issues with human resources. So we try to make sure that we give our directors and our leaders as many of the resources that they need so they can get the work that's important to the city done.
Yeah, I love that. Listen and kind of sound like a linebacker a little bit. You kind of block out some of the challenges so that they can move forward in executing the vision that's been laid out. That's fantastic. So, halfway along the road now, well, your role now, you're leading the city, and just to be clear, what exactly does a city manager do? So we can give context for those who are not familiar with government.
Okay, city manager runs the day-to-day operations of any city. If you were thinking of a corporate structure, the city manager would be the CEO of the corporation. So they run the day-to-day operations. They also employ and are responsible for all of the employees that work for the city, all the programs and processes that person approves, and the vision that is given to us by the commission is what that person takes and then tries to implement with programs and policies to ensure that whatever the vision is of our commission is what is our plan to get to that vision every single year.
Okay, love it. And so along the way, starting your career, you started your family. How did you balance being a wife and a mother with also literally being the CEO of a city with over 600 employees?
It's not easy. It's not easy, but my husband has been a great supporter of mine. Um, During his career, he's had um, positions where he's had to be away and go to Tallahassee and do different things. So we kind of developed a system. I had my parents who were a great support system. I also had somebody who came in and helped me with the kids too. Just getting them back and forth to school. Sometimes I needed assistance with that. So I was lucky enough to have people around me who would help me with that, whether it be my parents or some of our family who would help me, which was great because they got to know their grandparents really well. And so all of that was really great. My parents really were my biggest support system.
Oh, I love that. I grew up with my grandmother. Like my first 10 years, I lived with my grandmother in Jamaica, and those were like the best memories. Best memories. Like I think giving your kids a gift of spending time with their grandparents is such a powerful thing. I'm sure your kids perhaps have great memories of spending time with their grandparents.
They
Yeah.
really do. And it helped with me, just watching how my parents would interact with my kids was just
Hmm.
fascinating because growing up you're always thinking, oh, they're doing this for this way, but then when you get older you're like, oh, so that's why they did that. Okay. And you find yourself doing what they did
Yeah,
because you're like, okay, it worked, all right,
it
okay.
worked. Yeah, I love that. Do you have any so it sounds to me like creating a sense of community and making sure that you have a support system is an important way for you to be able to have it. I hear people say that women can't have it all at once. And it sounds like, and from speaking to you and other women, you absolutely can have it all at once, but you just have to have help.
Right. If I didn't have the help, I just couldn't have done all of it. um and it does take some balance in your life, and you have to really think about the choices you make in the career
Mhm.
options. My mom was a teacher, so it helped our family in the sense that she could be home, by 3 o'clock every day. So she would get me, or I would stay with a neighbor or a family member for about 30 minutes, and then she would be home. So whenever I was off, she was off. So, it worked out really well for us. My dad had his own business, so he was often off, doing that business. So he wouldn't have the time to, pick me up and do those things. But my mom did, and I think she did that specifically so that she would have the time to spend with me. Um, but she also had, a support system. She had a large family, so they would often help with me too. So I think having that is very important for anybody who wants to try to be successful and have a husband and kids, because being the CEO is very demanding. It's very demanding.
Yes, I can imagine that it is. I can imagine that it is. Um, so I know that throughout the years, storm comes. It's the nature of life, right? And in fact, I think I'm learning for me that storms are moments to kind of embrace, in the sense that that when you come out on the other side of it, um, that it passes, number one, and number two, that when you come out on the other side of it, that the possibility of you being stronger and more grounded exists. So how did you get yourself through some of the storms that happen over the course of someone's career?
I think, I was raised in church, so I have a strong faith um, in knowing that God is always with me. He's a part of me. And when I think about what I should do or not do, I keep that in the back of my head. So,
Mhm.
you know, I didn't always know what it meant when, like in church they would say, "This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me."
Yeah. And the world can't take it away.
And the world can't take it away. So I
Yeah.
think you have to have some of that with you. And just know, in all the years that I've been here, I have seen many people come and go.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing that I just believe in the true goodness of people. I believe
Me
that
too.
you know what I mean? Like, I
Yes,
think that there is nothing wrong with us that what is right in us can't fix. We can fix it.
Mm-hmm.
And I generally believe that most people want to do the right thing. I come in each situation thinking that's the first thing, and always thinking too, what can I do to try to make the situation better?
Mm-hmm.
So, I kind of think that way, and I don't always take everything personal. I just, there are certain things that I know, like most people don't like their boss. So, yeah, it's okay. It's not a
Mm-hmm.
problem. And so when I go into a situation, I don't think of myself as, well, if somebody said that. And it's kind of like, I understand that, it's not that, it's not personal. I try not to personalize things. I think
Mm-hmm.
that helps. I think that helps also. And just remembering to look at the big picture. What are we trying to do? And thinking about, hmm, why are we here? We're here for our residents. And what is
Mm-hmm.
going to be the best move, option, course in order to make sure our residents are served properly?
I love that. So it sounds like you are anchored by your faith and the vision,
Mm-hmm,
right? And your commitment to service.
mm-hmm,
That's so powerful because I mean, even for entrepreneurs, we always say, be clear about your why so that when things get challenging, you won't be ready to quit and look for a job. I know. Listen, about like the first my business, I'm going on 10 years now. In January 31st, 2024, it'll be 10 years.
wow.
And I think that the first six, honestly, Desiree, even though I was working the business and I felt like I was on purpose, I always kind of had one foot in and one foot out. And I think that sometimes with entrepreneurs or even with professionals, that if we're not anchored by something, then that'll be the case, and you'll never really fully meet your potential once you have one foot in and one foot out. So that's a really, really powerful advice indeed. And then Barbara says that's good leadership, yay.
He's so sweet.
So I actually, that's prompting me to think of a leadership question. So as you were moving your way up the corporate ladder, I know at some point the folks who were your friends, you became their boss. How did you manage that buddy to boss transition?
Um, I have always tried to, and this is one of the things that Mayor Lieberman had kind of instilled in me, was that you have to realize, if you plan to do this, um, there are a lot of people here, and I probably can count on my hand how many of them, that I am going to be best friend, like we're going to be really great friends. And then I understand that I can only provide, so much. And so I understand that we might be friendly, we're going to work together, but that I have to also understand that I have to maintain a relationship. So if something comes up that I need to bring, I need to be able to talk to that person about, whether it's a positive or a negative, that I can do that. So I have to try to maintain my relationships so that I have the ability to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, that is something that has to be navigated uh, carefully, um, because you want to be, like you want to be with everybody. You want to be everybody's friend. You want to be friendly, but you do know that sometimes you just kind of, to me, you have to take the position of making sure you can maintain a relationship, where if you have to bring in negative news or if you have to have a sit down with that person, it's not going to be something you can do.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah. And maintaining the relationship, but then maintaining it in a way that where there's trust, but there's also still a real clear boundary. So there's no confusion. Like my mother used to say, I'm your mother and not your friend.
exactly. My mom said it all the time. I'm not your friend.
Yeah, yeah,
You know?
yeah, 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 yeah. And I find that it's a challenge for a lot of leaders as they're growing in an organization, to kind of navigate that space of transitioning where, listen, we always used to kick it and all of that stuff. We could still kick it, but now there is a different dynamic.
Right.
It's a different dynamic. So now another title that you have added to your already full plate is that of entrepreneur. Tell to me about the entrepreneurship part of your journey.
Um, it's about 2 or 3 years ago, my husband and I started a business, a restaurant, and it was we opened during the pandemic, which was already, kind of like, okay, you're opening during the pandemic, which I was
Oh yes. Oh yes. I get it.
you get it, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. A
that was
restaurant that you open your doors and then 2 months later you're shut. Oh yeah.
and actually we had some people saying that, oh, they're gonna be shut in a few months because they don't know what they're doing or whatever. But it was a daunting task. It was something that we had always said we wanted to do, and then the opportunity kind of presented itself, and we started before the pandemic. So the process had started maybe around like 2018, and by the time I think groundbreaking was in 2019, and we were like in the middle of it when the pandemic started. So
Mm-hmm.
we decided to just keep going. My husband is very driven. When he
Mm-hmm.
has a goal in mind, he's like,
Let's go.
he's getting it done.
Getting it done. No pun intended.
Right? It is going to be done. I mean, uh, he will move heaven and earth, whatever it takes. He's going to, make sure the task that he has, he decided is getting done. So we worked diligently to try to get the restaurant open. And then once we got it open, I must say the community has been so welcoming. So they've embraced us. They consider it their place, their community is our place, it's our community. Um, it has been an opportunity to again serve. Uh, a restaurant, of course, is your business is pretty much serving the community,
Mm-hmm.
and also it's given us a chance to employ people from the community. We've given people opportunities they probably never would have had. We are a full service restaurant, so we have waiter service, and we have given employees who never been a waiter, a cook, different tasks in the restaurant, managers, to actually come in and learn and do those things. And some have stayed with us, and some have gone on to other opportunities. Um, but they got their start with us. So it's been very rewarding. It just feels so good that you help people to live their lives. And
Yeah.
I get a chance on both sides, at the city and also with our business, to
Yeah.
help people grow and to help people just kind of live their lives with their family. So it is extremely rewarding.
So service sounds like it's at the core of who you are. What's the name of the restaurant?
It's called Smitty's, and it's in Fort Lauderdale on Sistrunk Boulevard.
All right. Smitty's, y'all. The best wings. When I used to eat wings, the best wings. I love some Smitty's wings. And then what's the other thing that I like too? They have some good cocktails. They have some good cocktails at Smitty's. So if you're in the Fort Lauderdale area, do go to Smitty's on Sistrunk and check them out. Let's see what's happening in the chat. Oh, good morning. Morning to you, Miss Joan. Thank you for watching. Hey, Leslie. Good morning. Thank you for watching too. Good
Yes.
morning. So, if you, well, actually, it looks like 30 minutes went by so quickly.
Really? I can't believe that.
30 minutes already went by so quickly. So, Desorae, if you had some words of wisdom, this is our last show of 2023. Um, well, first of all, what do you want to see for yourself, your city, your business, moving into 2024? What's your vision?
Um, what I see are growth opportunities, innovation that's coming. I'm excited about our new software that we're going to be getting that will make us more efficient and effective. Plus, it'll give us some opportunities to do some new and innovative things, like have wireless water meters where we don't even have to send somebody out to read them. We can, read them from right here at City Hall. So that's something that I'm really looking forward to because I think this software will just make us innovative and give us a chance to not focus so much on paper and process, but start focusing on, how we move forward. I think there are also going to be opportunities throughout Lauderhill because of some development and redevelopment of some vacant parcels, some larger vacant parcels that will give us an opportunity to grow in new areas regarding retail, commercial, of course, residential. But I think it's going to bring some new and exciting opportunities for different types of businesses in Lauderhill that aren't here today. I am also thinking that hopefully uh, we can get more to get Lauderhill to be more of a destination. I'm very excited about the Cricket World Cup. We have 1 billion people.
Me too. I can't wait.
I know 1 billion people watching.
Deal. Yes.
And Les and her team are right on top of that to try to make sure we put Lauderhill in the best light we possibly can and let people know we are a great destination. Let them know about all the many great things we have here, from our culture to our, the waterfall that we have that nobody else has anything like that when you come right into Inverary, to things like the great people we have, our leagues, our teams, the many great types of opportunities that are a part of Lauderhill. I just want to get that out there for people because I want them to know that we're more than just a suburb. We are a great destination if you want to come and do some wonderful things.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yes. Thank you so much for sharing your morning with us. And I wish you and your family the best of this holiday season.
And I wish the same to you. And for everybody who's watching, I just want to say happy holidays. And I hope your 2024 is way better, much better than 2023. Although 2023 has been good, I want your 2024 to be even better.
Even better.
Thank you so much, Commissioner, for having me on. It's been a pleasure.
All right. Thank you so much. And thank you guys for watching this episode of the Dunn Wisdom Morning Show. As you go into 2023, or as you go into 2024, I encourage you to really consider, make some time, set aside an hour, and think back on 2023. Identify all of the moments that you have to celebrate, all of the moments that you have to give thanks for. And really focus a lot on that. I think a lot of times we focus on all the things that went wrong. Well, you know what? There had to have been some moments that were amazing in this year. Focus on that as you think about what you want to create in your life for 2024. And as always, I want you to remember to be kind and loving to yourself, because you, my dear, you absolutely deserve it. I'll see you in 2024. Be well, everyone.